Hello everyone and welcome to the Polkadot Latam Hackathon Ecosystem Sessions. Today we have one of the most important projects in the Polkadot ecosystem, Astar Network. Astar team defined their vision as the future of smart contracts for multi-chain, connecting Polkadot ecosystem to Ethereum, Cosmos, and all major layer 1s blockchains. Astar won the third Polkadot parachain auction for 2 years connected to the relay chain of Polkadot. This ecosystem session will be recorded and uploaded in the Polkadot Hackathon Latam YouTube channel to watch anytime. If you have any question in this session, you can leave them in the chat and we will have 2 stops for the answers. Now I will introduce to Sasha Pool, our speaker today. He's from Croatia and he's living now in Finland for the past 4 years. He has knowledge in JavaScript, Node and front end, and also Rust programming language. He's involved in blockchain since 2012 and joined to the Astar team 8 months ago. So Sasha, it's a pleasure to have you today in this first Polkadot Hackathon Latam. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, it's all yours.
All right. So let me just share the screen. All right. So hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Sasha, and I'm going to present this little tool that we've been cooking up in Astar. We call it Swanky. And yeah, so let's kick it off. What is Swanky? So as we like to put it like in a one-liner, it's a developer toolbox with everything you need to get your project off the ground, basically, to start developing your resin smart contracts. It's comprised of 2 main big parts. First one is the CLI, and by using that CLI, you can bootstrap your project. You can get the node and like a project template out of the box. You can compile it, you can deploy it, you can manage your networks, you can add and generate new users, and you can make calls to your contract. We have a couple more features planned before the release version 1. But I'll talk about those real soon. And the second big part is the Swanky node. And the Swanky node is basically, it's optional, but it's recommended to use because it makes it like way easier in development, because it comes with all the required palettes for the resin contracts and more. It has instant and manual seal mechanisms. So like basically whenever you post a transaction, it will create a block. So there's no like block time. So there's you don't have to wait for like 12 seconds between blocks. So you get them right away. And if you need to skip some time, you can just do it manually directly. But yeah, like it's not required to use. You can use whatever network you wish. It's by default preserves storage, so like even if you shut it down and start it later, you'll be able to continue. But you can also purge it, of course, to start from scratch. Right. So what we have today at this moment, you can bootstrap a project with 3 possible templates. You can get like just blank files if you want to start everything from scratch. You can get the standard Flipper contract, or you can get the PSP22 contract. By version 1, we'll get some more out there, but I won't reveal yet which ones they are, but they're going to be like super exciting. You can compile your contract, you can deploy it to the configure networks, and yeah, as I mentioned, you get the node, so you can actually run it from the same place, and you can create new accounts, and you can even generate them and encrypt them, so like they're actually safe to use in production as well. And yeah, you can call messages on your contracts. And planned release frame for the version 1 is November 15th, and we are planning to announce it officially on the Sub-Zero conference in Lisbon. What's still left to do, what we plan to do in this what is it, like a month's time, we're gonna support Fala SPET contract and Fala network as like a real life use case. Apart from Ink language, we're gonna support Ask language as well, which would make it easier for developers with no Rust experience to start creating smart contracts on WASM. For those of you who don't know, Ask language is it's a framework basically on assembly script language, which is kind of a subset of TypeScript, because TypeScript cannot on itself get compiled to WASM because it's like too wide, and WASM doesn't support all of the as a like compilation target for TypeScript. It's not very compatible. So assembly script deals with that, and it's well, it looks like TypeScript, but it has a kind of a smaller feature set. And yeah, we're gonna add more templates, as I mentioned, and also you'll get a very basic, like a front-end template. Basically, we just hook up the Polkadot.js in there and let you take it over from there. And planned, but not sure will it make it to the version 1 or will it be pushed to like 1.1, is the full end-to-end testing support for your contracts as well. Yeah, and as I mentioned, if the testing support gets pushed, then that will also get like in the later version. But we also plan on exposing commands and making them like be usable programmatically, like with Swanky just as a dependency on your project. We are working on like comprehensive documentation tutorials, even something called like WASM Academy that will get you to like get to know WASM from scratch and like make you be able to use Swanky to create your smart contracts, you know, as soon as possible. And yeah, finally, we want to make it not just an Astar tool, but like a WASM tool, and like help you do WASM contracts on whatever chain supports it. And yeah, what is a good project if it doesn't have a GUI, right? So like eventually we're gonna add a GUI to make it even easier to manage all that. Under the hub, it's Node.js project with TypeScript. It's currently published on npm, but for the sake of like simplicity and like some users who don't have or like don't want to have Node installed on their machines, or like for using it in containers, we are planning to release it as a standalone package, which it could be a bit bigger because it will wrap Node.js runtime inside, but still, if it's needed, it's gonna be there. We use the Eclipse CLI framework by Salesforce, and it's pretty nice. It's pretty extensible. So if like some other parachain wants to just add their functionality to Swanky, it's easy and it's doable. We are open for all contributions. We welcome all contributions, or like if you use it, if you find some issues, feel free to just post issues. We will do our best to address them as soon as possible. All right, demo time. So if there are some questions by now, we can go through the questions.
We don't have questions yet, but yeah, let me check. So yeah, keep doing. No question yet.
All right, so let's start with this. All right, so I have Swanky installed globally, which is you can do it or you can use it through npx, but it's generally easier like this because I just have to write Swanky. I don't have to write the whole npx Astar network / Swanky. So I'm just going to use it from here. If I just use it, you see all the commands available to you. By the way, is it like I've zoomed in? Is it zoomed in enough? Can you see the screen? Can you see the text? It's fine. Okay. All right. So let's try to bootstrap a project. We'll call it init, and yeah, we need one argument, which is the project name. Let's call it just my project. Yeah, we pick template. Let's use Flipper because Flipper is faster to compile than PSP22, so we don't take too much time. This is the default name of the contract, same as the template. We'll leave it as such. My username is just pulled from my Git config. Email is optional, so I'm just gonna leave it blank. And now we have an option to download Swanky node, which I am gonna take, which is by default on. If I don't, then I just need to go into Swanky config and I configure wherever my node is, and or like some other network. But it's easier like this. All right, we're gonna download the node, and you're just gonna run yarn install or npm install, whatever you have on your machine. That shouldn't take too long. All right. All right, and we have our project bootstrapped and up and ready. Let's check out how it looks like. All right, so we have our Swanky config. It has node configuration, default accounts Alice and Bob, and it has Astar networks configured here, but you can add your own and use those, as I mentioned. And here we have the contracts folder, which for now only has Flipper. You can actually, the same way you can generate new contracts. It supports multiple contracts, so you cannot steal, but at one point you'll be able to through Swanky add the like XCM communication support between them. You can now, but you have to do it like on your own. Basically, there's no template for that yet. Okay, you have your contract here. It's just like created from templates. So if you use a different name, it would rename your modules and constructors accordingly. All right, let's go back to the. All right, so let's compile it first. All right, you have to actually specify which one to compile, because as I mentioned, you can have more, but I can demonstrate that as well. So you can call it, compile, deploy it, or create a new one. I just compile it. All right. Oh yeah. This is actually I'm not in the project folder, so this is a expected behavior.
Sorry, Sasha, I stopped you.
Yep.
We have first question.
Okay, great. I just started the compilation, so this is going to take some time. So this is a great time for questions, actually.
Okay.
Should
Maybe it's related with this point. Do you need configure your IDA with Swanky or an Node JS? Is all you need, or need some npm dependencies?
No, this is actually all in it, because when you bootstrap the project, wait, I'll show you. So you actually get Swanky in package JSON. So you can actually use the node scripts from here. You don't have to call Swanky at all from there. Like, this is the only dependency it has when it's like freshly bootstrapped. Actually, good thing you mentioned, because we can also do the, just a second. Okay, zoom in a little bit. If you do Swanky check, it's just like a very simple tool that will. Okay, seems of course demo effect. Just a second. Yeah, there has been some changes. Okay, but what this will do, I'm not gonna go and debug it now. What
Okay,
this will do.
Bedosha say thanks for the answer. So it's
Oh,
clear.
okay, I'm glad.
Continue.
With the Swanky check command, you can actually get info on like your dependencies, which are basically Rust node, cargo, and cargo contract in there. Okay, and while we're waiting for the contract to compile, let's show some more commands. So we obviously need a node to be running, but before that we can do some account management. So let's list them first. As you have seen this in the Swanky config, we only have Alice and Bob, but we can create some new ones. Let's create one. First, it will ask me, is it a dev account? Let's say yes. And in this case, it will not encrypt it. So let's just use some gibberish here. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it won't work like that, obviously. But what we can do, we can actually generate it. And let's make a dev account. Let's call it dev1. And now this will be stored in plain text because it's a dev account and we don't care about it. But we can also create a new one and make it a real account. Let's call it all right. And now if you look at the config, we have this encrypted one and we have the dev1 here. And we can now use these accounts to deploy the contract or call it. Okay, since the compilation is almost over, I'm just going to run a node. And here we have it. Node is up and running. We can check it in the UI. So yeah, it's here. You can actually see it's a Swanky node. And it has 0. It has a block 0, just a second. Okay, it's compiled. All right, now we have a compiled construct and we can deploy it to the node. We need to specify which container we wish to deploy, which account to use. As I mentioned, we can use the newly created accounts, but feature that is still missing that's going to be there for the version 1 is that these accounts need to be airdropped some native coins, or otherwise we can do it through the UI here. But for simplicity's sake, we'll just use Alice to deploy it. We need to specify some gas, and we need to send the argument for the constructor, which is in Flipper. In the Flipper contract is just a Boolean value. And if I entered everything correctly, it should, yeah, there we have it. It's deployed to this address. You can see here the block is created. I'm just going to copy the address from here. And you can see here the contract is instantiated right away. And let's add it here. This one's from before. Second. This is just a feature of the UI that you need to edit manually. Let's do it here. Yeah, and here's our Flipper. We can call it and check the node. Yeah, and we can see it's called here, and the value is flipped. Okay, I think I've shown everything. We can actually try and deploy it to Shibuya test network now, which is Astar's live test network with the same parameters. All right. Yeah, and there we go. We have it deployed on Shibuya. It's as easy as that. Okay, so I think I went through everything. Any more questions?
No, no. So let's continue.
All right, so that's it basically.
It's pretty clear.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So we are still actually developing it. Like as I mentioned, the features are gonna like just grow, and by mid-November it's gonna be like in version 1, ready to help you out developing whatever contracts you imagine. First on Astar, then like wider. And yeah, we are like very happy to receive any feedback on it. Even pull requests would be welcome. So yeah, if you have any questions about Astar, Wasm, or Swanky, just like come to Astar Discord. We'll be happy to answer you there, or ask right away here. Yeah, okay, that's it, I guess.
Okay. Great information on presentation, Sasha. Just to sum up this presentation, Sasha gave us a first presentation about the Astar technology and functionalities, and then a demo presentation about the code. So, well, Sasha, was a great time with you. Thanks for joining us today, and yeah, see you in the next time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I just shared some links to the documentation, which is also going to be updated. So like it could be some discrepancies. So maybe better rely on the documentation on the GitHub repo. That's
cool. Yeah, this session is recorded and will be uploaded in the podcast Hackathon Latam YouTube channel. We have in this hackathon almost 300 applications, so a lot of teams will enjoy this ecosystem session from the Astar team in the YouTube channel. Thanks
amazing.
again, and thanks for the all Astar team for joining to the podcast Hackathon Latam. So bye.
Okay.
Bye everyone.
Bye.